What is the suffering of narcissistic abuse victims hidden from the world? Survivors of narcissistic abuse often grapple with a hidden struggle that can have long-lasting repercussions. Many survivors keep certain aspects of their experiences hidden, driven by fear or shame. In this informative video, we will uncover 10 secrets that numerous survivors keep to shield themselves from the prying eyes of the outside world. 1. Survivors of narcissistic abuse often conceal their feelings of anxiety. Those who have endured narcissistic abuse frequently hide their anxious thoughts, a result of the challenging experiences they have faced. Narcissists excel at criticizing their victims, instilling fear in survivors about every action they take. The dread of making a mistake and facing additional criticism is a common occurrence. Dr. Liz Carter, an expert in the field, explains that survivors of narcissistic abuse tend to suppress their anxiety, feeling misunderstood or overlooked. Mental health can suffer if these survivors bottle up their emotions and thoughts. Hence, they require support and a secure environment to freely express themselves. 2. Survivors of narcissistic abuse often hide their loneliness. Victims of narcissistic abuse commonly mask their deep sense of isolation and loneliness. Dr. Craig Malkin, an authority on narcissism, explains that narcissists manipulate their victims by instilling feelings of isolation and worthlessness. Survivors often internalize these emotions, leading them to withdraw from social circles and conceal their suffering. Renowned clinical psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvasula points out that survivors hide their loneliness as a defense mechanism, fearing negative judgment and being labeled overly sensitive. Overcoming silence and seeking support are vital steps for progress in the rehabilitation process, potentially aiding in the restoration of their interpersonal bonds. 3. Survivors of narcissistic abuse often conceal their psychological trauma. These survivors may opt to hide their emotional suffering from others, enduring significant pain while hesitating to show it outwardly. Psychologists suggest that this could stem from feelings of embarrassment or fear of criticism. Dr. Julie Hall, a psychologist, notes that survivors might present a brave front to avoid feeling weak or vulnerable. While it may seem like an attempt to mask their suffering, it's crucial to understand that they may be grappling with profound emotional traumas beneath the facade. Despite choosing to conceal these wounds, they are authentic and deserving of compassion and support from those around them. Creating a safe space for someone going through this to speak openly can significantly contribute to their recovery. 4. Survivors of narcissistic abuse often conceal their trust deficits. Trust issues are frequently hidden by survivors of narcissistic abuse. Restoring trust is challenging after it has been damaged. Dr. Ramani Durvasula notes that survivors may struggle to discuss trust issues due to concerns about others' understanding or judgment. However, it's essential to recognize that trust is fundamental to thriving relationships. Seeking support from professionals or trusted individuals is crucial for the healing process and the rebuilding of trust. 5. Survivors of narcissistic mistreatment hide the health issues caused by the abuse. Individuals who have endured narcissistic maltreatment may, according to psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvasula, develop profound levels of stress and anxiety, adversely affecting their physical health. They conceal it out of fear of negative judgment or embarrassment by others. Some survivors may experience chronic conditions, unexplained aches, or pains, all stemming from the persistent emotional distress and tension caused by narcissistic abusers. As highlighted by Dr. Judith Olof, toxic relationships can lead to digestive distress, cardiac problems, and even a weakened immune system. Seeking support is crucial for survivors, as neglecting these health issues may prolong their suffering. Remember that healing often begins with communication and seeking assistance. 6. Survivors of narcissistic abuse conceal their culpability. Those who have experienced narcissistic abuse often hide their feelings of remorse. If they fail to recognize the warning signs of narcissism in their abuser, they may bear this sense of remorse. Survivors might hold themselves accountable for their prolonged silence and may feel culpable for the maltreatment, even though they are blameless. Carrying this misplaced remorse can be a significant challenge. Dr. Judith Herman, a prominent psychiatrist, emphasizes that survivor remorse is frequently a result of gaslighting and manipulation by narcissists. Consequently, they conceal their remorse to avoid appearing burdensome or revealing vulnerability. Support is essential for survivors to recover and let go of this concealed remorse, understanding that the maltreatment inflicted upon them is not their fault. 7. Survivors of narcissistic abuse conceal their self-doubt. Individuals who have endured narcissistic mistreatment often hide their self-doubt from others. According to Dr. Ramani Dervasula, this type of abuse can diminish an individual's self-esteem and mental health. Survivors may experience a sense of inadequacy, even though this perception is unfounded. Imagine having a friend who has undergone this type of maltreatment. While they may exude confidence in public, they may harbor deep-seated self-doubt. Their efforts resemble a covert conflict, making it challenging for them to disclose this information. Always keep in mind that the complete extent of an individual's challenges may not always be apparent from their outward appearance. 8. Victims of narcissistic abuse conceal their traumatic recollections. Those who have survived narcissistic abuse often conceal their distressing memories, burying them deep within themselves and rarely discussing them. According to renowned psychiatrist Dr. John Crystal, individuals may avoid discussing such memories to prevent them from eliciting strong emotions. They use this strategy as a safeguard against the emotional distress that these recollections may induce. However, as Dr. Judith Herman points out, it can be vital to one's recovery to discuss these experiences with a trusted individual. Therefore, although survivors may initially conceal these memories, they must find a secure environment in which to disclose them. It is as though they are granting access to concealed memories, allowing illumination to enter, and beginning the process of reconstructing their lives. 9. Survivors of narcissistic abuse often hide their melancholy. Feelings of sadness and despair are frequently concealed by survivors of narcissistic abuse. Embarrassment or fear of not being understood by others may drive this concealment. Survivors may choose to keep their sorrowful emotions hidden due to the narcissist's conditioning, which renders them insignificant. Dr. John Smith suggests that the repression of emotions may adversely affect mental health and hinder the ability to seek assistance or support. Survivors might suffer in silence out of fear of the stigma associated with mental health issues, leading to prolonged psychological anguish. Seeking help from family members, friends, or therapists is crucial in overcoming these depressive thoughts and emotions. Greetings, visitors. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd like to remind you that approximately 80% of you haven't. If you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. Your support is highly appreciated. Now, let's continue. 10. Survivors of narcissistic abuse hide their economic hardships. Those who have experienced narcissistic abuse often conceal their financial difficulties from others, a secrecy rooted in the control dynamics of narcissistic relationships, according to psychologists. Narcissists frequently exert financial control over their partners to maintain dominance. To preserve an appearance of normalcy, survivors might hide their financial struggles, fearing further manipulation or judgment from the narcissist. Financial abuse is a real concern within narcissistic relationships, leading individuals to feel powerless. Recognizing and providing support are essential for survivors to break free from this cycle. Psychoanalyst Dr. Robin Stern asserts that while seclusion may serve as a survival strategy, disclosing one's struggles is an initial step toward recovery and regaining agency. Offering compassion and a listening ear to someone recovering from narcissistic abuse can be profoundly beneficial. Individuals who have survived narcissistic abuse often keep various aspects hidden, driven by shame, fear, or the belief that others won't understand. Despite these hidden struggles, it's crucial to recognize that such secrecy can adversely affect their well-being. Be open and available to someone you suspect may be going through narcissistic abuse, creating an environment where they feel safe to share. Remember that recovery is possible, and no one should feel compelled to conceal their pain indefinitely. If you've gained insights from this video, please show your appreciation by liking and subscribing to our channel for more valuable content. Your support means a lot to us.